parkway in my automobile, trying to get back to my pappy's corn liquor steal. Soon as I crossed that Buncombe County line, something in the air blew my podcast up high. It was a wisdom from the chicks in the city sticks, and I knew right then it was gonna be my fix. No need for white lightning to get my start. It's hey Lord, have mercy, Hannah, bless your heart. Wardy, yeah, you know what I mean. It's not strange, take it from me. Wardy, come and listen to see weird mountain gals on the Wardy. Up on Weird Mountain, they've been getting their kicks, jamming on the porch just to hit and mash. Stirring up the pot, that's what they do best. They can dish it out till there ain't none left. W-Y-R-D, yeah, you know what I mean. No, it's not strange, you can take it from me. W-Y-R-D, come and listen to see weird mountain gals on W-Y-R-D. Well, I finally found my pappy's corn liquor steal. Filled up the jug and had to hit the trail. Gotta get back to the cottage in the Mashville woods, to the weird mountain gals neighborhood. W-Y-R-D, yeah, you know what I mean. It's not strange, you can take it from me. W-Y-R-D, come and listen and see weird mountain gals on W-Y-R-D. It's them weird mountain gals on W-Y-R-D. It's them weird mountain gals on W-Y-R-D.
Do you consider yourself normal? Then this is not the show for you. Please go somewhere else. This is WYRD. If it's getting weird, it's got to be the Weird Mountain Gals show. You're listening to Byron and Alicia, the Weird Mountain Gals.
I'm looking right now. Feral Church Children Kids.
feralchurch.org.
Wow. Okay.
You see it?
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I see I see your stuff and I see where it's coming. It's not there, but it's coming.
Well,
And
the
Audacity-
website is there, so if people want to go look at it, they can look at it, but they can't communicate with me yet about it. I'm about to put it on the Feral Church. Feral Church also has a Facebook page, and I'm about to put the website on there too, and say, yeah, it's had a Facebook page for months, but I haven't been juicing it up.
Well, do you mind if I ask you, and if so, I mean, if you don't want to answer this, I get it. But Dr. Carol Christ, what does Christ? Well, I've only read her name.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that she's a she. She was a feminist historian, right? Okay. How did she influence you? What was it?
Well, she is, and I'll be doing a video of this too. She is one of the foremothers of the modern goddess movement, and she used to lead pilgrimages to Greece. She has written some amazing books and essays about how modern women need goddess culture and how we can reclaim goddess culture. And so her death was really the impetus for the writing of this book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so is she somebody that you knew personally,
No,
or?
I never met her. That's a funny thing about it. And I've met a lot of those early feminist goddess worshipers and
Yeah.
goddess theologians. I've met a lot of them. But
Wow.
I never got the opportunity to meet her. But she had a profound influence on me, obviously.
Yeah. I read something, some interview that you had done out of your 1.5 million interviews that you've done. And you mentioned that, or, and like I said, I had never heard her name spoken before. Uh, so I thought it was Christ, because, and I made a note to myself next time I got a chance to ask you about her.
Huh.
I
Yep,
asked
that's
you
the
in a
story.
I asked you in a dream about,
Oh,
I don't know,
what
it's
did
been a week
what did I
ago,
say
a
in the
month.
dream? What was my answer in the dream?
You never answered.
Oh,
You didn't answer. But that wasn't the point of the dream. The dream was something else, and that was just part of our conversation. And somehow when I woke up the next morning, I remember saying, I need to ask her who that guy. So would you recommend that a person like me go read any of her stuff?
oh yeah, absolutely. And she's
Mm.
got essays online, so if you wanted to dip in without uh, you know, investing in a book, or in a book length read is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go look for her essays online.
Thank you. Thank you. I need somebody, or I'm ready for somebody new to learn about. And that sounded kind of interesting to me. As far as you know what, I'm starting to have a little bit of problem with my book collection, because first of all, it was never supposed to be a collection of books. This is just books that I like to read, and then when it comes time to get rid of them, I can't. I go, no, I'm going to read that again. And sometimes I do, you know, but I'm not to the degree that you have books, but I don't live in, I don't live in the same amount of space that you do. I live in a smaller space. And I'm starting to wonder about, should I just go digital? But I like books, we've had that talk too when we first met. You can't really open up a digital book and have a couple of theater tickets fall out that give you a good
Oh,
memory.
yeah,
You
that's
can't,
true.
I mean, you,
It's true.
books
But
are nice.
a lot of people are doing digital. For one thing, it's cheaper than buying a book. I get that. Takes up less space. You can have a bajillion books on your Kindle at one time. So I get that.
Well,
I just like the feel of books.
well, and I do too. And digital books are almost always online in a cloud, and you don't really have them anywhere on your hard drive. You just have links to them. Okay, they don't
Oh,
take a bunch of space. And so the doomsday prepper in me says, well, wait a minute, you need this in paper so that when it all goes to pot, you've got something you can look at. But yeah, so this is the way my mind works. I go back and forth on it. I had the very first Kindle that ever came out. I've still got it. It works perfectly. It's not color, it's just text, and that's all I wanted because I was reading a book.
yeah.
And I only allowed myself to put what I considered to be light reading, not important reading. I would put that on there, and then I'd take it to the beach with me. And I was fascinated by the thought that I could take 100 books with me at a time or more.
Yeah.
I could sit on the beach and have a library right there and read while I was sitting on the beach, and I often did. So that part is the convenient part is nice. But gosh, when you think of the bookbinders and the illustrators and the people who helped create, the people who would do page marbling, the print shops and stuff, those were all honorable professions. But I don't know if that's any reason to keep books around. I just don't know. I think it's just a sentimental thing on my part, because theoretically, digital books are more practical. What do you think?
Well, you know my house.
I do.
I don't have any digital books except for my own books. Oh, and other people's books that I've blurbed that come to me
Yeah,
as a PDF. I mean,
right.
so in that sense, I have some digital books, but they were books that came to me and I read them and did a review or whatever, and then I don't go back to them, mostly because the publisher will send me a hard copy of a real copy of the book when it comes out because I blurbed it. But
Right.
I, I yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just not something that ever appealed to me to do. When we were in Cornwall, my buddy Sarah had books on her Kindle and she could read on the airplane and anytime there was a lull, she could pick up her book and read it. But I know what happens with me is if I'm in nature, like if I was at the beach, I would just be looking at the beach. I wouldn't be reading. I'd be there on the beach. And if I'm in Cornwall and I'm probably not paying attention. I'm not going to be reading a book. But
Yeah.
that's just me. And books,
Well, yeah.
now when I try to deacquire books, it's really hard to get rid of a book because nobody wants books now. Thrift stores don't want them. Used bookstores don't want them. Nobody wants books unless they're really,
It's
really unusual.
I bought books a lot to save them back when I was doing buying and selling antiques. And my first real sale of a book or of an antique was a book. It was the collected works of Edgar Allan Poe, and
Mm.
it was a first edition.
And a
And
beautiful
little
edition too, I bet.
it was. And the little couple came in and they knew what it was and they bought it. And I don't know if I think I priced it just fine. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Have you been to archive.org?
I have.
So they have that book project, which is
Yep.
to digitally scan every page of every book in existence.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a lot of it. They've done a lot. You can get to any of it. You can check it out for 3 weeks at a time. You can there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can just download it and have it because it's a record, it's an archive.
But it's an unstable because it just takes one electronic pulse, just one, to lose
Uh-huh.
the entire wisdom of Western civilization.
That's
One.
it.
It takes
it.
one
Exactly.
disaster and then it's all lost.
And it's all Google. This is a Google thing. So I commend them for doing it in the first place. But I commend them for their thoughts on it, but I'm like you on that. It's like, well, if something happened, we used to say this. I don't know if I can say it and be politically correct, but if the bomb drops, we'll be glad we had some of our stuff in hard copy.
Yeah.
You know, so damn, I had no idea I was in this kind of mood when I got on the Zoom with you.
It's because it's so hot. It's because it's so
Yeah.
hot.
What's that
Mama,
phrase
I'm
that they
too hot.
use? What is that phrase that they use about dog days of summer? That's it.
The dog days. I think we're out of the dog days now, though. Usually by September, we're done with the dog days.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I've
too.
not been out to look at the night sky in so long. I don't know. I guess I'm always looking for that bear. Tomatoes. Let's talk about tomatoes.
Tell me about the tomatoes, Byron.
Okay. Well, y'all, we're trying to finish this up with something a little juicier. Ha ha ha. Than all this heavy stuff. But I just want to say right now, my friend, I've got 3 tomatoes over here that are perfectly ripe. Perfectly. And just about every day this week, and I know it's only Wednesday, but I'm counting last week too, I've had a tomato sandwich. And I've had it on my low carb bread, which is, like nothing at all. all that low carb bread is a mayonnaise delivery system. And I might just as well cut up one of these damn tomatoes, put it in a bowl, and plop mayonnaise on top of it, which is what my dad would have done.
That
But
is
I've
what your
learned,
yard man says.
yeah,
Did he
just
teach
don't
you?
even have no bread. Just put some dukes on top of a cut up tomato. Oh hell yes. And
Yeah.
and we were talking about all the things that can go wrong, and we two of us winding each other up with stuff. But I'm telling you, there is nothing better in the world than a tomato warm from the garden, a little bit of
Uh,
salt on it, and some Duke's mayonnaise. And if somebody needs to fight me about Duke's, then I got an army standing behind me about Duke's.
well,
It's Duke's or
I'm
nothing. Well, I every year, a couple times a year actually, I start this thing called hashtag Mayo Wars. And I'll say something like,
no,
well, they ain't but one mayonnaise really, and the rest of it's just crap. And that one mayonnaise, my friend, is a Duke's. And then there's going to be some Yankee who's going to go, well, I don't even know. I don't never even had Duke's. I've only had Hellman's, and Hellman's is the best. And somebody else will go, well, I always have Blue Plate. And then somebody's going to talk about salad dressing, and it's on. And people get so intense about their damn mayonnaise. Well, and I'm intense about it because right now, if you looked in my refrigerator, it would be Dukes and only Dukes and Dukes and Dukes and Dukes. And in the
same.
cabinet are two more quarts of Dukes because I got it
Mhm.
on sale. So it's Dukes or it's nothing, nothing at all. And I do know how to make mayonnaise. And those are the real snobs in Mayo Wars because they go, well,
Oh, damn.
I
I
don't,
was just
I
getting
don't.
ready to say,
Yes, I don't do any of that store-bought stuff. I only make my own mayonnaise. Well, making mayonnaise isn't hard, especially if you've got a blender. It's really easy.
you have a
But
stick blender.
yeah, but yeah, a stick blender will do it, or just a regular old blender. But if you use a regular old blender, it's a mess to clean up, and you're not going to make a quart of mayonnaise. You're going to make as much mayonnaise as you want right now. So it's Duke's, my friend. The answer to the war of mayonnaise is Duke's. And you can quote me on that to all those damn Hellman's freaks that are going to be responding to this podcast.
Well,
Dukes,
now
it's Dukes, it's Dukes.
doesn't Hellman even they don't call themselves mayonnaise? And now I might be wrong about this, but I think they call themselves like sandwich spread
Oh
or
no, there
something.
are sandwich spreads, but no, there's Hellman's real mayonnaise. They call it Hellman's real mayonnaise. And it's like, well, I mean, it's got oil and it's got eggs, and they're all mixed up together with a little bit of salt. But here's what every mayonnaise, commercial mayonnaise, has that Duke's does not have, and that is sugar. Duke's has no sugar. And that's why it's got that little bit of a tang to it. And that's why it is, in fact, the best commercially available mayonnaise, period. There, I'm off my
Uh,
soapbox.
there you go. Well, are you big into the cola wars ever?
No, I don't care about that because I don't drink. I, all right, here's the big secret of Byron Ballard. Every once
Uh-oh.
in a while, maybe once a month in the summer, maybe twice a month, I will have a Diet Coke. But it can be a Diet Pepsi. I don't care.
I don't care. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just wondered.
How about you?
People get
Are you fussy?
about soda.
Yeah.
I only drink if I drink any soda, I'll it's going to be that Zevia
Oh,
because
right.
it's made
Yeah.
with, and I like the grape because it tastes like grape soda to me. But I don't have any around me. If I get sick with eosinophilia on my throat,
Uh-huh.
I will go drink a Diet Coke. And I was taught that in vocal class.
Yeah, because
They
it'll
kept,
just clear it right out.
yeah, it's like taking motor oil off an engine. You just pour it on there and boom, it's gone.
It's really
That's
true.
the
They say that Coca-Cola is the best thing to use to clean a toilet. You just
I've
dump a
heard
can of
that.
Coke in there and leave it alone. It'll just chew all that stuff up.
It's
But
crazy.
I do have it every once in a while. I will have it, and I feel very decadent about it. It's like, oh, I'm drinking a Diet Coke, and I know people that
Oh
drink
yeah.
5, 6 Diet Cokes a day.
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to. I know people who ended up at Duke Hospital because they had a diet of only, or that's all they would drink is Diet Coke. And I know a
Ooh.
fella who ended up at the vet's hospital for the same reason. Both of
Oh,
them almost died. Almost died. The one fella had terrible migraines and nobody could figure out why he was having migraines. He finally went to Duke. First thing they asked him was, how much caffeine do you drink? How much Coke do you drink? He
ah,
told them, and he was drinking more than 2 liters a day of Coke. And that's all he drank. No water, no coffee,
wow. So
nothing.
no water, just Coke.
Yep.
Holy
And it was the
moly.
same way. The little veteran fella that I was doing computer training with, he and his wife, and they lived up on a hill in Columbia. And I'd travel there and do my little computer training. And I went there one day and they weren't there, which was not like them. They were, normally would have called me or something. Anyway, I found out later that he was at the vet's hospital in Asheville. He was there for like 4 weeks
Oh my God.
before they let it. Yeah, I know. It was crazy because he had gone into seizures and all kinds of stuff, and he damn near died. And it it was his Cokes. All he drank was Diet Coke all day long. And he was diabetic, and he figured that, oh, I can drink Diet Coke. That's legal. And that's
Yeah,
all he did.
that's not got sugar in it. That'll be fine.
No. Oh yeah. So he had a big old seizure and about died from it. And that's when I started hopefully getting a little bit smarter, because I was loving it. I was teaching at the college at the time. And I wouldn't go for Diet Coke. I went for Diet Mountain Dew because it had the maximum caffeine.
Oh
And
my
I drink one
God.
every day. I drank one every day in the morning driving to work. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, well, listen, I have kept you for a long time and I appreciate it, because I know we're going to have to do a little bit of editing on this, just maybe a tiny bit, but I appreciate you taking your
I
time
tried to
out.
I tried to just say crow, crow, crow instead
It's
of saying all the
hilarious.
bad language I always say.
Well, that's hilarious actually, but we also see I have to censor myself. I do a lot of I say all the time, and I do a lot of Floyd the barber talk. Remember how Floyd used to talk? So
You do not talk like Floyd the barber.
well, no,
You
not like him,
crazy
but I do
girl.
that same kind of technique where I have a thought and I almost say it, and then I almost say another one, and then I finally will say one. And so you've had to listen to me attempt it. So I
Oh,
have to edit myself a lot.
that's your pinball brain technique.
Yeah. ADHD. I'm trying to make decisions about that, by the way, Byron. Am I gonna
Oh,
am I gonna do something about it? Is mast cell gonna take care of it? As mast cell stuff gets better, I'm able to focus more and remember or do more. Um, or do I want to be a little more aggressive about that? We'll find out someday, maybe.
all will be
Anyway,
revealed.
all will be revealed. All right, I'm gonna let you go. If I can think of what it was I was gonna tell you, I'll let you know. I'll send you a message on Facebook. And,
Okay.
I want to say Queen of the Weirdlings, Ilsa, has been going through it lately. And I've noticed that we've had some people who kind of have stepped up in the Weirdling group
Isn't
and
that
been
good?
posting. And yeah, I want to just say thank you. Y'all are kicking butt. It's become a little community, hadn't it?
It really has. I love that. I just love it.
I do too. And I appreciate all the work that Ilsa did to put it together. But I also appreciate that she is allowing some other people and asking some other people to help her out when she needs it. That's
Yes.
smart.
Yes.
So it feels like a kinship of the weirdlings. And I think we all
Yes.
are maybe some really odd people in life, as maybe they say, but I love every one of them, don't you?
Boy, don't I? Well, and we've had
Yeah.
such good conversations. I'm
Yeah.
just loving that.
Yeah,
Um,
I am too.
we, we're a funny, weird tribe, aren't we? The weird
We are.
tribe. We
Yep.
are.
We're ourselves. So, and hopefully we'll see them very soon in November. All right, y'all. This, I guess, is going to be the final goodbye
I
of
know
the
it's all
episode.
Appalachian goodbye, isn't it? Well, I guess I better get to the house. Supper ain't gonna cook itself, you know.
Whew, you're not kidding. And I've eaten all the tuna. So
Good.
it's time for
That's
me to
good
go.
for you. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. I'll see ya.
Bye.
Y'all, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love y'all.
Goodbye. 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 Bye.
Hey, thank you for spending your time with us here at Wyrd Mountain Gals. We sure do appreciate it. You know, I know time is the most important thing we have. So I promise that if you take your time to listen to us, we'll take our time to continue to be weird. Many thanks to Sunslice Records for all the help. We couldn't do it without you, Craig. Check out our social media for information, community, or a few laughs. WYRD Mountain Gals.
WYRD Radio.
So speaking of crows, I don't know if you remember the original conversation from the original part of the last two broadcasts, but I have never had to cut so much out ever.
Oh dear.
Oh my God, we were bad. We were bad. You went on a rant that was multi-syllabic. You had
Oh boy.
multiple syllables and lots of words, and it was just that. And I thought, oh no, that's not
Well,
that I'm scared, but why would I
no,
bother
but we shouldn't do that. Well, I wondered
Mhm.
because it seemed like I didn't do a whole lot of talking in the last episode,
That's
but
why
apparently I did a lot of talking, but it just all had to be cut out because of
it
my
was
filthy
hilarious.
sailor mouth.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious because at this point I've edited an episode or two of these, and I kept thinking there's got to be something here I can keep because this is hilarious. But it was all too rough, so I kept
I'm
no
rough.
clips for the best of.
I am rough.